And we welcome you one more time. Chris Aller with the call. The 2025 Perfect Game Super Regional NIT here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Chris Allard again with the call. It's a good one tonight. The ZT Prospects 14U national team playing again in the regional 14U majors division. The two coaches meeting at the plate. The SU Krew going against the ZT Prospects national team here this evening. We're at the Doc Romeo baseball facility just outside of Las Vegas, about a half an hour out towards Summerlin area. And a beautiful setting here tonight. The lights will be hitting us shortly. You can see the shadows on the fields, and again, can be a little bit of trouble for some of these athletes, but nonetheless, as the sun sets, the lights will go live for us as the Prospects will play two tonight. Your umpires this evening, Fabiano takes care of business behind the plate. He'll manage the game, working with his partner Oscar down on the infield. The twosome working well together for perfect game throughout the course of this tournament. And Johnny will be scoring things officially for perfect game. Well, we'll get things underway here. The ZT National Prospects Club, they'll be the home team. They'll get the bottom half of the inning. And the lineups for this evening. On the mound for the Prospects, Brody Taylor. Taylor will take care of some pitching for the club to start things off. Behind the plate, Cameron Walters. Walters had a good night last night, as well as the club. Taylor and his guys doing a fine job going 2-0 last evening. Over on the first base side, Danielle D. Bedar. Bedar taking care of business over there. Bedar had a good night at the plate. Bedar had a couple of singles, some RBIs, and had a good showing last evening. Over on the second base side, Blake Barbarena. Barbarena will take care of business there over on that side of the field. And on the third base side in the 5 spot, you've got Jimmy Stout. Stout will play third tonight. Jimmy, a versatile player, had a couple of big rips last night as well. And over on the left field side to start things off, you've got Mateo Victorio, monster. Came in today and helping the club out, obviously one of the top players in the organization as well as across the country. Victorio playing left field to start things off tonight. And center field, Brandon Manavong. Manavong showing his versatility. He'll run the show out there in the field, and center field take care of business for the club. And rounding it out on the right side, Mason Moeller. The club started out with 9 players. They brought in a couple extras just probably for various reasons as we go into obviously here Good Friday today and into Easter Sunday coming up. The tournament will conclude on Saturday. Yeah, just so families can get back and enjoy Easter Sunday. Fabiano says, okay, let's wrap it up. Another toss for Brody Taylor. They'll bring it in and we'll be ready to roll as Walters sends it down. And we will be ready to roll here. To start things off, CeCe Ruffle. He plays left field for the SU Krew team. He'll step in the box as the leadoff hitter. Is little housekeeping work for Fabiano, our head umpire here tonight, as I mentioned, working with Oscar. So we're ready to roll. Day 2 of the 2025 Perfect Game Super Regional NIT. We're ready to go. Fabiano will set the table as everybody gets situated. And we will be ready to roll. Ruffle will step in. And a big cut at the plate there, Ruffle. Brody Taylor will even things up. The count goes to 1-1. Taylor lefty for the club. Taylor plays right field when he's not on the hill. Taylor working well here. Pitch on the way. Taylor right side. And that'll get through over on the second base side. Barbarena just not able to get over there. And Ruffle gets on with a single. The 2-hitter steps in, Lawless. So you can see the shading on the field. We'll try to brighten up your camera image a little bit here and see if we can help out a bit there and get some light on it. Taylor, good pitch there. Strike called, so Brody Taylor works ahead in the count. The count is 0-1. think your picture at home and wherever you're watching is just lightened up there for you. With Ruffel over on the first base side, Bedard holds him on. Brody's got a direct line of sight straight over. A good pitch, fouled straight back, and the count is 0-2. So Taylor taking Lawless to an 0-2 count here. The two-hitter. And strike three called on the outside. So Taylor, he dials one up and gets the outer third of the plate called. Lawless will have a seat. Taylor will get the K. Coop will step in. Coop comes in as the DH. Ruffel over on the first base side. Bedard continues to hold him on. Modest lead, a couple extras there. And swing and a miss. Back pick attempt there. Bedard slaps the tag on. Ruffel gets back in time. So a strike at the plate. Cameron Walters firing down to Bedard, looking for a back pick attempt there, and Ruffel gets back. Time called. Taylor will step off, and Coop will step out. Coop will reset here. Brody Taylor ready to go. And a ball up. The count goes even to 1-1. And a strike called there. So Brody Taylor and a 1-2 count to the three-hitter Coop. Taylor, a bit of a hold there. Ruffel over at first. Pitch on the way. Ball. Did he go? So on the field call as they appeal, no go there, and Coop's able to hold up on the swing, and the count goes to 2-2. And a ball low on the inner third, and the count goes full at 3-2. Fabiano cleaning things up here. We've had a lot of wind throughout the day. It seems like it's settling down somewhat, but there's a lot of loose clay on the top surface here and dust moving around. Once again, a good line of sight on the plate. He'll put it back in play. Brody ready to go. Strike three call. Coop thought he was on board with a free ride, and at the plate, Brody Taylor gets the strikeout. So Taylor, and the full count, wins the battle there and wins the full count. Stepping in the four-hitter, Higgins. Higgins plays left field for the club. Correction, plays third base. And swing and a miss there at the plate. The count is 0-1. Temperatures will definitely cool off this evening. Last night, the club played 2 evening games, and it was very cold with the wind. And swing and a miss there. Cameron Walters takes a look at first base, and just to show on the potential back pick, no go there. So Taylor with an 0-2 count. Ruffel stays parked over at first base. The 0-2 pitch, runner on the move. And a ball's chopped foul and out of play. If you look at the box with Fabiano having to clean things off, it's the top surface is very loose. So any player moving their cleats around, which As you know, batters in the box are always shuffling around and the plate will disappear. So Taylor again on the 0-2 pitch. Fastball upstairs. The count goes to 1-2. And a ball pulled foul. So Taylor locked in at a ball and 2 strikes on the 4-hitter Higgins. As Higgins steps back in and Taylor ready to go here with Bedar holding on Rufel over on first base. Pitch on the way. And fouled off the barrel. Looked like it got towards the low part of the bat there. And Higgins gets the heel of the bat there to chip it away there. And the 1-2 continues. Swing and a miss, strike 3, that'll do it. Brody Taylor steps on the mound and shows what he's got. He takes care of business. He gets 2 Ks on the record, and they'll strand 1. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning, no score. Stay with us. You're enjoying day number 2, the 2025 Perfect Game Super Regional NIT. Chris Aller with the call. I'll be right back. Well, back to live action. We're ready to roll here tonight as we continue on. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Brody Taylor will lead things off for the prospects. On the hill, Benson Wright will take care of business. He'll start things off, the right-hander for SU Krew. In the 2 spot, Wright will be catching. In the 3 position, Fitzold, excuse me there. The writing was a little scribbly. Couldn't get that one deciphered. Avery's over in the 4 spot. In the 5 spot, Higgins. Shortstop, Lawless will take care of business there. And in left field, Raphael will be the left fielder. Evans will take care of business in center, and rounding things out on the right side is Harv. It looks like Malhus. So Taylor will step in. We're ready to go as Fabio looks down the line with Oscar, his partner, ready to set the table. And Benson Wright ready to deal. Bottom of the first. Taylor, big swing there. And the count is 0-1. Taylor looked like he's coming out of his cleats. As I mentioned, the box is not really well groomed here. And it looks like getting yourself set. And another swing there on a changeup. And the count goes to 0-2. So Taylor looking to get something going here for his guys. The 0-2 pitch. Taylor, right side, high flyer, and that ball going out into foul territory. A lot of guys moving to the fence line, and it's gone. So everybody off the field from the second baseman, center, and right fielder were on the move, but no play there. So Taylor will reload and get another shot at it here with an 0-2 count. So Wright ready to go here. The 0-2 pitch. Ball's up and out. The count goes to 1-2. So Taylor is settling in here in the top of the order for the prospects. Victorio's on deck. And a ball out. The count gets even to 2-2. And the ball is low, and Wright takes Taylor to a full count. It's 3-2. Brody Taylor popping it up, and a little trouble here on the fence line. And Taylor will come back one more time. So Wright coming out of the pop quickly for the SU Krew, but no playable ball there along the fence line. And Taylor will get another crack at it here with a full count at 3-2. And hit by pitch. So Taylor, after a 3-2 battle, gets tagged and finds himself 90 feet down to first base. And that'll bring in Mateo Monster Victorio. Fabiano again having to clean the plate off about every other batter. As you can see, there's actually deep spots within the batter's box. They need to groom the field here and pack things down. So he wants to make sure he gets a good line of sight on the plate for the pitchers. So Monster steps in. Taylor over at first. Fitz holds him on. Pitch on the way. And Monster looks at a strike. And the count is 0-1. And toss there. Brody jumping backfield said Scott him hold on over there at the first base side. He's holding on. And from the stretch right will work. Here, let's see what he does. Pitch on the way. And curveball in for the strike. And the count is 0-2 to Victorio. Left side, ball's deep, shortstop ranging, that could drop in, and it does. And everybody shuts down. So Victorio gets a shallow hit just on the left side there, and this shortstop had released, but no play within the first cut there of the grass. So Victorio gets on board, will score it as a single, and Brody Taylor will move up. The three-hitter, Jordan Leon, will step in, and a quick visit out to the mound. So Wright wants to talk to Benson. And Leon will step in. Fabiano puts it back in play. We're ready to roll here. No outs, runners at first and second for the prospects. And fastball upstairs. The count is 1-0. Brody Taylor over on second. Looks like he's doing a little cleat adjustment. He's good. Victorio at first. Decent. Everybody's ranged up. High flyer. Right side. Second baseman actually off of first base side. A little trouble there. And the ball is fair, calls Fabiano. So they call a fair ball, and here comes humming home. And there's no play at home as the ball is called in play. So runners at second and third, Jordan Leon in with the double. And one will come over, and Brody Taylor moves over to the third base side. So the prospects will strike first here, and Blake Barbarena will step in. And Blake back up the middle. And they'll get the out there. Hey, trouble at first. And he's safe off the bag. So they had to look like a routine out there and a 4-3 put out. Instead, Blake Barbarena gets on board as the first baseman pulls his foot. And another run comes across in Victoria. Stepping in, Jimmy Stout. So Avery gathered well, looked like he had an easy out, and instead gets the run. And Barbarena's on the move. Strike called at the plate, a good throw down. So Wright came out of the pop quickly and gunned it down there, and Barbarena had a good jump. Jimmy Stout looks at a strike at the plate. The count is 0-1. Jordan Leon over on the third base side. Chopper, second baseman, should have a routine play here. And another bad throw over to the first base side. Here comes Barbarena, and there's no play at home. So a couple of overthrows on the first base side. And some errant plays there on the defense, unfortunately. And Jordan Leon comes over. Stepping in, Brandon Manavong. The ball is low. The count is 1-0. And Wright with a good-looking pitch there. Change-up hits. The count goes to 1-1 on Manavong as the prospects bring 4 over. Jimmy Stout at first. And a strike on the outer third of the plate. Wright gets the low call, and the count goes to 1-2. Back pick attempt and a good throw, right? And safe over at first, says the infield umpire. Oscar makes the call. And a ball at the plate. It's a 2-2 count here as Stout was off a couple of extras, and the pickoff attempt no go there. Pitch on the way. Ball's pulled foul to the left side and out of play. So Manavong gets hit by a pitch and finds himself on board. And stepping in for the prospects, Danielle D. Bedar ready to go. Runners at first and second. And a curveball hits for a strike. The count is 0-1. And Bedar left side. And a throw across is in time, but the runners move across. So Bedar moves over his men at second and third. So Cameron Walters will step in. Runners at second, third in scoring position with one out. And curveball on the outside part of the plate. The count goes to 0-1. Shadows starting to fill in up here. Light should be coming up here shortly. We'll try to lighten up the picture for you the best we can. Pitch on the way. Walters lays off. The count goes to 1-1. And a good grab behind the plate. As the ball's out, the count goes to 2-1. Stout at third. Manavong at second. Wright steps off. Walters locked back in. And a ball out. The count goes to 3-1. So Walters being patient at the plate here, and an opportunity for the prospects to pick up some extras here in the bottom of the first frame. It's 4-0 thus far. Ball four, so Walters gets on board and finds himself up the line at first, and the bases are loaded for Nate Handley. So Nate will step in, and they're going to run for Walters, who's doing the catching, and Henry Kuhnsteller will step onto first base for Walters as Nate steps in with the bases juiced and one out. And Nate looks at a ball. The count is 1-0. As you can probably hear a little bit of the breeze in the mic. Try to shield that a little for you so you're not hearing that noise in the background. The wind's settling down some. Swing and a miss at the plate there. And the count goes to 1-1. Breaking ball out, missing there. The count goes to 2-1. Left side. Third baseman tries to make a play, and that gets through. Here comes one, and there's no play at home. Manavong with good wheels will cover the base as well, and Jimmy Stout will score, and Manavong, as Nate does his thing, gets on board with a single and 2 RBIs. So runs 5 and 6 will come over here with one out, and that'll bring in Mason Moeller. And Moeller with a big cut at the plate. The count's 0-2. And at the plate, a good move down the line. And a good effort by Wright coming out quickly, right at his feet. And Kunsteller was on the move. He had to get down and dirty and just in and out of the glove down on the third base side. So Higgins tried to put the tag on. That just gets away from him. And everybody moves up. So Moeller hard hit ball, and that ball gets up the middle, and here comes one in Kunsteller, and they'll shut down Nate at third, and like that, the PO, Mason Moeller, gets into the action and finds himself on board with a single and an RBI. The prospects pick up their 7th, and they're back to the top of the order, and Brody Taylor will step back in. And Taylor takes a cut, fouls it off. No move there. Wright steps off as Moeller dives back into first. And another move over to the first base side. As the breezes here this evening as the sun's setting are starting to cool off considerably. And a ball is up. Brody leaves it there, and the count is 2-1. So Taylor trying to get a knock here for his club with runners at the corners. Pitch on the way. Taylor, right side, pulled foul over in the prospect dugout. And the count evens up here at 2-2. Moeller goes left side, left fielder, shortstop shuffling around. Now the left fielder wants to pull it in, but the shortstop calls him off, and Lawless will pull it in for the out. So 2 outs on the books, and Victoria will step in. Runners stay put. So Wright still working from the stretch, taking a long look at Moeller. Moeller's looking at him like, not sure what he was saying to him, like, come on, dude, let's go. And a strike on the inside to Victorio. He takes a look. The count's 0-1. I think Mason was just trying to step off as he was on the rubber getting set. Pitch on the way. Left side, that ball's deep center field. It's got some carry to it. And that ball will be pulled in deep center. The wind up there held it up, but a good barrel. But the prospects, they strike early. They bring 7 over. We'll head to the second. Stay with us. The 2025 Perfect Game Super Regional NIT. Well, back to live action. We're ready to go here in the top of the second frame. The prospects leading this one 7-0. They were striking early and stepping in to get things started off. Batter Evans, pitch on the way. Brody Taylor with the ball. The count is 1-0. And Taylor, fastball up and out. The count's 2-0. And 3 pitches all up in the zone for Taylor. And it's a 3-0 count. And a strike called there, a little early out of the box, and Fabio calls the strike on the inside. The count's 3-1. And ball 4. So Taylor administers the walk, and stepping in will be the 6-hitter Benson. So Benson hitting in the 6th spot, pitcher of record. And the count is 1-0. So Taylor a little bit loose here after having a productive first. He had to be at bat a couple of times and cooling off a bit. The 1-0 pitch. And Taylor up the middle there, so strike called. And the count goes to 1-1. foul tip straight back, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. So Taylor now with 2 strikes on the batter. Benson Wright, the pitcher for the SU Krew. And a ball inside, and the count goes to 2-2. And strike 3 called. Taylor runs it in and gets the inner third on a good-looking pitch. And Wright will have a seat. Taylor gets the K. Stepping in the batter, Avery, hitting in the 7 spot. Lefty-lefty matchup. And Taylor will lead off with a strike there. The count is 0-1. Foul ball, runner will come back. No, Evans was on the move. Throw over to the first base side. Bedar puts the tag on, but Evans back in plenty of time. Fastball upstairs. The count goes to 1-2. Runner on the move. Good throw down. And Barbarena on the one hopper couldn't glove it. And Trax is in with a stolen bag. A 2-2 count at the plate. And Taylor will step off. The lights will probably be firing up fairly soon, I would hope, as things are definitely darkening up here out on the field. Taylor, good looking strike 3 called. So Brody Taylor gets the K. And Avery will have a seat. Harv will step in. So Harv steps in with 2 outs, and Trax parked at second. Jordan Leon in tight there on the shortstop side. He ranges up, and a big rip there for Brody Taylor, unloading that one, and it's upstairs for a ball. Jordan Leon playing shortstop here. Barbarena at second. They'll shuffle around. In tight on Trax. He ranges up and rolls off. Pitch on the way. Strike on the inside part of the plate. The count goes even to 1-1. And a strike there. Taylor runs it up the ladder and gets the strike called up the upper part of the zone, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Ball just missing out there on the changeup. The count goes to 2-2. So twos across the board here. We're in the top of the second. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in Vegas. That makes a lot of sense. And we'll see who's going to win the twos here. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Brody Taylor gets it. Strikeout at the plate. Taylor settling in here, and they'll turn the side over. They'll leave one on in track. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The 2025 Perfect Game Super Regional NIT. Chris Aller with the call. We'll see you in a minute. So a pitching change for the SU Krew. Jake Tomlinson comes in, the right-hander. He'll get his warm-up tosses in. And to start things off here, after Taylor takes care of business on the hill, will be Jordan Leon. The prospects here in the bottom of the second will go 3, 4, 5 hitters. As a catcher right has a couple conversations with his guy, and Tomlinson getting his warm-up pitches. So Tomlinson gets his tosses in, and his guys collecting at the mound there, just talking it up. Say, hey, okay, let's go. We're in the bottom of the second as Jordan Leon will step in. So Tomlinson ready to go. Fabiano looks down the line. Oscar's good to go. They're going to put it in play. We're ready to go. Jordan Leon steps in the box. Breaking ball missing there. The count is 1-0. And a strike called there. Tomlinson makes the adjustment. And the count goes to 2-1. And a ball low, so Leon being patient at the plate there as Tomlinson working the outer third of the plate. Bit low there, and the count goes to 3-1 to Jordan Leon. Upstairs, ball 4. So Leon will find himself 90 feet down to first and on board with a walk, and that'll bring up Blake Barberena. And temperatures cooling off, wind settling some. No lights yet on the field. Not sure what time they're scheduled to come on, but we're pushing just slightly past the 7 p.m. hour here on Friday night. And the count is 1-0. Right side, ball's hit hard down. Right fielder will gather. And rounding hard to third and shutting it down is Jordan Leon. And Blake Barberena gets a rip. And a hard grounder into right field. So runners at the corners for the 5-hitter Jimmy Stout. So the prospects knocking on the door again here in the bottom of the second frame. They lead this one 7-0. So Stout steps in, Leon at third, and Barberena over on the first base side. Tomlinson will work from the stretch. Throw back over, Barberena back in time. Coach Carlos looking over to Sam, the first base coach. Trey down on the third base side. And a strike call. Tomlinson runs it in the inner third. And the count is 0-1. Tomlinson starts with an open stance and closes and comes set. Something with his tempo, I'm sure. And that ball gets away, and Trax comes out quickly behind the plate, and it caroms back off of the fence line right back to him. But that'll move up Barberena on the ball. And the count is 1-1. So Trax wants a word with Tomlinson. Quick consult out on the bump. And we'll give him a moment there. Yeah, we're back to go action here, and Stout ready to go. Runners at first and second. A 1-1 pitch. Jimmy right side, foul. Checking with the head umpire Fabiano and Johnny, the PG scorer, official here, trying to determine when the lights are coming on. It's starting to get dark out on the field. I'm going to try to lighten our screen up a little bit, which that'll do it there for you. And a little better look. And the count goes to 2-2. And Jimmy, he's got to wear that one. And on board with a hit by pitch. Jimmy last night spent some quality time getting hit by pitches, and of course now here tonight having a revisit. And you could certainly hear that one, but he's a big kid, and the bases are juiced with no outs, and Manavong will step in. And a ball at the plate. The count is 1-0. Manavong back up the middle. A good gather. They go one there. And no play there off of the first base side. And coming home is Barberena. There'll be no play at home. And Manavong is safe. They get the force at second. And Jimmy Stout will have a seat. But Manavong gets on board, gets a single, the RBI. And they pick up their 8th run here. Stepping in, Daniel Badar. So Badar will step in here. And an 8-0 affair with Manavong at first. Pitch on the way. And ball there at the plate. The count is 1-0.
Nah, man. I don't do those skinny jeans. Are you a little cold? Yeah, I don't even know my clothes on. Oh, yeah, right.
And the count is 2-0. Time is called. Badar will step out. And he looks at a strike. The count goes to 2-1. Runner goes, ball at the plate. And Manavong on his way to third, so the ball gets in and out of the glove and tails off towards right center. And like that, Manavong finds himself at third. And a ball at the plate that counts 3-1 to Badar. The lights, somebody threw the switch, and they're coming on here now. And the field will start to lighten up here. Ball 4 to Badar, so he gets on board with a walk. And runners at the corners for Cameron Walters. Breaking ball there, misses out. The count is 1-0. And hit by pitch, Cameron Walters on board. And the bases are loaded here for Nate White. Nate got a good rip and a visit out to the mound. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, back to live action. Brogan Coop takes over on the mound here, and Nate steps in. Ball is low. The count is 1-0. Bases juiced. Kunsteller, Badar, and Manavong. First, second, and third occupied. Coop looking for an out. There's no outs here in the bottom of the second. It's 8-0. Pitch on the way. Ball's hit to the right side. That ball is foul. Right side, fouled straight back. And the count is 1-2 to Nate. And swing and a miss on the outside, strike three. Nate will have a seat, and the bases stay loaded. Mason Moeller will step in. So Brogan gets the strikeout for the SU Krew. We're in the bottom of the second, as I mentioned. Prospects have had a lot of production out of their guys so far, and an opportunity here with one out. Ball gets away, tracks with a good grab behind the plate. We're shallow. It's only about 20 feet, so anything that caroms off the fence will come back pretty quickly, unless it goes up the first or third base side. And a big cut at the plate for Moeller. And the count is 1-1. Mason's had good productivity, considering he really plays on the club as a PO, but showing his skills being versatile. And trouble there. Manavong with good speed, and no view on the ball for tracks. He had to find it. And Kunsteller will move up to second, Badar to third, and a ball at the plate. And the ninth run comes over. Moeller looking at a 2-2 count here. Pitch on the way. Moeller takes another cut, stays alive. As you can see, the lights filling in the field here. Things will brighten up. We'll tighten up the picture for you as well along the way. Moeller, right side, again, stays active. So Mason staying active here with a 2-2 count. Brogan shakes off there. Kunsteller, time called at the plate there. Moeller will step out and reload. Prospects, as I mentioned, picked up their ninth run here. 8 and 9, 2 runs over thus far. Brogan ready to deal, pitch on the way. Moeller again fouling off. So Moeller decides to break a light here tonight. We'll charge him later. And we'll take his wages out of that. And hopefully nobody's hurt over there. Some glass everywhere. And a ball's upstairs. Moeller will be on board after a good battle with Brogan. So back to the top of the order, and the bases juiced for Brody Taylor. One out. Fastball up, the count's 1-0. The Prospects will play a second game here tonight under the lights. And Brody with a big cut there at the plate. To bring you up to the speed score there, we verified with Johnny there, 10. And big hit there for Brody Taylor. That ball's deep. And a good grab from the left fielder as Brody Taylor goes deep to left center. But the Prospects, they bring across 3. It's a 10-0 affair in the bottom of the second. We'll go to the third. Stay with us. It's a good one. The Prospects production in full force. We'll be right back. Well, back to live action. We're ready to go here. Brody Taylor will stay on the hill for the Prospects, and we're in the top of the third frame. It's a 10-0 affair as we're ready to get started here as Fabio puts it in play. And a ball out. The count's 1-0. And a 2-0 count. The batter Finsteld. And Taylor runs it on the inside part of the plate, gets the strike called. And the count is 2-1. And did not hit at the plate. Not possibility of hit by pitch. That ball is low. The count's 3-1. So Taylor having to work his way back here. The 3-1 count to the leadoff batter for the SU Krew. Walter sets up the 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. Tomlinson will step in. Third base side. Good grab there. They go 1. Good play across the deck is in time. So 6-4-3 and a well-executed double play as Monster Victorio started it off. And the prospects go bang bang there and put 2 outs up. Top of the order. Rufo will step in with 2 outs. Right side, backing up. Right field pulls it in. And Nate in right field will handle it as he opened up to his right there. And Jordan Leon was rolling over like, hey, maybe I'm going to cover you here. But Nate pulled it in. They get the out. They go 1, 2, 3 in the top of the third. They'll get to the bottom half. We'll be right back. You're enjoying the 2025 Perfect Game Las Vegas Super Regional NIT. Chris Allard with the call. It's been a good one so far. Prospects have dominated the offensive side of the plate, and Brody Taylor's pitching a good one for his guys as the SU Krew will get on the defense. Prospects coming up. We'll be right back. Well, we bring you back in here to live action. Bottom of the third, 10-0 Prospects, and Nateo Victorio will start things off for the club. The Prospects will go 2-3-4 here in the bottom of the third frame. And conversation at the hill. Coop wanted a word with his catcher Trax to make sure that they get the pitch call right, with Victorio always patient hitter at the plate. And Monster will step in. We're ready to go here. Pitch on the way. Nateo looks at a strike. The count's 0-1. And a ball is up. The count goes to 1-1. Temperatures have definitely dropped here as the sun is gone and the lights are on us. We're pushing right past slightly the 7:30 p.m. hour here this Good Friday. And the ball bounces at the plate. The count's 2-1. They were a little behind here to start things off. Their game was scheduled for 5:30. We're about a half an hour behind. 40 minutes or so, maybe even a little further. Pitch on the way. So 3-1 count to Victorio. Time is called. Fabiano, our head umpire, gets a little dust in his eyes. He's got to clear them out. Give him a second. And he'll put it back in play. The count is 3-1. Ball 4, Victorio doesn't bite there. Coop thought he had it. And Victorio finds himself on board. So Jordan Leon will step in. And Avery holds him on over at first. Victorio. Jordan, high fly ball, right side. Everybody on the move, second baseman. Good range there. He went a long ways off to his left and was able to pull it in. So Leon will fly out, and the first out's on the books. Barberena will step in as Fabiano, our head umpire, does a little housekeeping at the plate. As I mentioned early on, lots of surface dust on the top moving around as we're getting a gust of wind here. Lots of shuffling over at first, back in. Victorio gets back in time. And a ball out, the count's 1-0. So Barberena looking to get something going here as we're here in the bottom of the third. On deck, Jimmy Stout. Well hit ball. That's a no-doubter. That ball is long gone. Off the barrel. That was a no-doubter all day long. Barberena crushed that ball. And somebody can find that out in the woods. And Victorio comes home, and Barberena gets a little bit of brotherly love at home plate. So runs 11 and 12 come across, and Jimmy Stout will step in with the bases cleared. So Barberena plays the long ball to the right side. As we're getting a big gust of wind here. As I mentioned, temperatures cooling. And Jimmy Stout steps in. And Coop starts off with a strike. He'll work ahead in the count. The count is 0-1. Right side, that ball's got some carry. Right fielder backs up to the fence. It'll bounce off the fence, and Jimmy Stout will shut it down. And Stout on board with a hard hit single to the right side. So Jimmy gets on for Manavong. And Manavong trying to keep this thing going here with one out. Jimmy over at first, checks back up. Coop steps off. He'll reset. And Manavong locked in the box. Coop takes a look. Manavong calls time. Granted at the plate. And Manavong takes a look at a strike. And the count is 0-1. Coop works ahead. And tracks with a good grab on the outside part of the plate. The count goes even to 1-1. And a ball up, just missing. And the count goes to 2-1. And the count goes to 3-1. Manavong right side, cut foul and out of play. So a full count to Brandon Manavong. Stout over at first for the prospects. Coop ready to deal. The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. So Manavong gets on board with a walk. So Daniel D. Bedar will step in. D looking for a knock here. He's got an opportunity with runners at first and second. As Bedar will step in. Facing Coop for the first time. With one out. And the ball's upstairs. The count's 1-0. Bedar, hard hit ball, line shot, there's one there. And out on the way back, so a line shot for Bedar right to the second baseman, and Manavong was on the move, but he gets tagged coming back there. So they turned it over. We're through 3 frames. It's 12-0 prospects. We'll be right back. Well, back to live action here. Lawless will step in as we're ready to go here. They go 2-3-4. Taylor ready to go. Slow roller. Mana. And Victorio. And a good backup there. And the ball was kind of jammed on the pitch there, and it was a slow roller up the third base side, and Victorio released quickly, but just couldn't get it out of his glove in time, and Lawless gets on board with a single. Stepping in, the batter Coop. Counts 1-0. And a ball cut foul, line shot to the right side and out of play. So Coop steps back in with a 2-1 count. Lawless over on first. Pitch on the way. Right side, that's going to get through. And Badar left first base there for a moment, and Nate had charged it, but no play there nonetheless. Down the line quickly, so there was really no play. So another single, and Higgins will step in, the 4-hitter.
There you go, BT. Let's go, Beb. Get another ground ball. Get another one. Let's go.
So the prospects looking for an out here in the top of the 4th. ZT's the home team here. And a strike called there, so Taylor locates. And Brody will work ahead. The count is 0-1. And a good pitch on the inside part of the plate. Brody locates there, and back to back. So an 0-2 count on Higgins, the 5-hitter. And fastball back, pick attempt, the tag is on. And like that, bang, bang. Cameron Walters. The runner was on the move. He was checking back to second, and Walters saw it. He gunned him down. So a strikeout at the plate, and the runner's out, getting picked off. So 2 outs for the prospects, just like that. And a ball at the plate. High fly ball. Backing up, Barberena. He's off the grass. He'll pull it in. That'll do it. So ball game. The prospects, they do it here. They run rule it with a 12-0 affair at the top of the 4th. SU Krew was knocking on the door. They had runners there to extend, and unfortunately were not able to convert it. But a good matchup for both clubs as the prospects, they win this one. As at the home plate area, the players will shake hands. That's really what it's all about. Sportsmanship, and SU Krew will continue to play on tomorrow. As the prospects will play their game 2 coming up next. Chris Allard with the call. It's been a good one. Prospects production in full force here. They win it in a run rule. For now, we'll say so long from Vegas. We'll bring you game number 2 coming next.